What does it take to become one of the most unforgettable voices in Hollywood? To rise from humble beginnings, fight battles that no one sees, and emerge as a legend? Samuel L. Jackson's life is a story of resilience, transformation, and the power of staying true to yourself, no matter the odds. But what if I told you that before becoming the star we know today, Samuel nearly gave up on everything: his career, his dreams, and even his life? How did he turn it all around? Stay tuned as we uncover the inspiring and often surprising journey of Samuel L. Jackson, filled with struggles, victories, and stories you've never heard before. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Born on December 21st, 1948, in Washington, D.C., Samuel Leroy Jackson's story begins in Chattanooga, Tennessee, a city known for its scenic views, but during Samuel's youth, also deeply rooted in racial segregation. Samuel's upbringing was shaped by the struggles of growing up in the Jim Crow South, where opportunities for African Americans were scarce and prejudice was a daily reality. He was raised by his mother, Elizabeth, a strong and determined woman who worked multiple jobs to keep the family afloat, while his father lived miles away in Kansas City, struggling with alcoholism. Samuel would only meet his father twice before his death, leaving a void in his life that he carried for years. Elizabeth Jackson, however, made sure that young Samuel stayed on the right path. She was strict but loving, pushing him to focus on his education. Samuel, a quiet child, found solace in books and music, dreaming of a future far beyond the limits of his small-town life. He joined the church choir, where his love for performance first began to take shape. Yet, back then, no one could have predicted that the shy boy with a stutter would one day become one of the most powerful voices in Hollywood. That stutter was a significant challenge for young Samuel. He struggled to get words out, and the other kids noticed. But instead of letting it hold him back, he discovered a trick. If he inserted a certain word into a speech, it seemed to help him push through. Little did he know, this word, motherfucker, would become one of his most famous catchphrases. It's a reminder of how he turned a personal struggle into a part of his identity, a symbol of defiance, humor, and authenticity. After high school, Samuel attended Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. It was here that he began to truly find his voice, both as an actor and an activist. Morehouse was a place where young black men could strive for excellence, surrounded by the legacy of leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., who had once walked the same halls. Samuel initially enrolled to study marine biology, hoping for a stable career. But an unexpected twist of fate led him into the world of theater. When he joined a local acting class just to fulfill a requirement, Samuel discovered a passion he never knew he had. But it wasn't just acting that lit a fire in him. Samuel became deeply involved in the civil rights movement, inspired by the turbulent social climate of the 1960s. He joined protests, marched for equality, and even participated in a sit-in at Morehouse that would get him expelled for 2 years. Samuel and other students held members of the board hostage, demanding more black representation on the college's governing board. This act of defiance nearly ended his academic career, but it also shaped his identity as a man who wouldn't back down from a fight. Years later, Samuel would reflect on this period as a time that taught him about standing up for what he believed in, no matter the consequences. It was this resilience, forged in the fires of the civil rights movement, that would later help him endure the struggles and rejections in his acting career. After graduating from Morehouse in 1972, Samuel moved to New York City, ready to chase his acting dreams. But life in the city wasn't easy. He took on countless off-Broadway roles, making just enough to pay rent in a tiny apartment in Harlem. His early work was mostly in the theater, where he met fellow actor and future director Spike Lee, who would become a lifelong collaborator. But despite his hard work, fame seemed elusive, and Samuel often found himself questioning if he was on the right path. During these years, Samuel faced a battle that was much harder than any role he had taken on: his struggle with addiction. The pressures of the industry, combined with the rejection and lack of stability, led him to alcohol and cocaine. He later described these years as a haze, where he was often too numb to recognize his own pain. But through all of this, there was one person who never gave up on him: LaTanya Richardson. Samuel met LaTanya, an actress from Spelman College, while they were both involved in the Atlanta theater scene. The two married in 1980, and LaTanya's unwavering support would prove to be the lifeline Samuel needed. She saw the potential in him when he couldn't see it in himself. And in 1991, after a life-threatening overdose, it was LaTanya who staged an intervention, helping Samuel check into rehab and turn his life around. Clean, sober, and ready for a fresh start, Samuel's career began to take off. His first big break came with Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing in 1989, followed by his powerful role as a crack addict in Jungle Fever. The role was painfully real for Samuel, as it mirrored his own struggles with addiction. But it was in 1994 that he landed the role that would change everything: Jules Winfield in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. With his unforgettable performance in Pulp Fiction, Samuel L. Jackson became a household name. The character of Jules Winfield was not just another role, it was a cultural phenomenon. Samuel's magnetic presence, sharp delivery, and that iconic speech about Ezekiel 25 verse 17 earned him an Academy Award nomination and cemented his place in cinema history. It was the role that allowed him to finally leave behind the struggles of his past and step into the spotlight. What followed was a whirlwind of roles in some of the biggest films of the 1990s and 2000s. From action-packed hits like Die Hard with a Vengeance alongside Bruce Willis, to the psychological thriller A Time to Kill, Samuel's versatility as an actor became his trademark. He became a favorite among directors like Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and later, the visionary behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In 2008, he took on the role of Nick Fury in Iron Man, a character that would become central to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Samuel embraced the role with his signature cool and charisma, appearing in multiple Marvel films over the next decade and becoming an integral part of the franchise's global success. His portrayal of Nick Fury turned him into a hero for new generations of fans, proving that it's never too late to become a superstar. Outside of the spotlight, Samuel's life has been defined by his commitment to family and social causes. He's a devoted husband and father, often crediting his wife, LaTanya, as the true anchor in his life. Together, they've weathered life's storms, raising their daughter Zoe in a world far different from the one Samuel grew up in. Samuel is also passionate about giving back to his community, frequently using his platform to speak out on issues like racial inequality, voter suppression, and gun violence. He's not just a voice in Hollywood, he's a voice for change. And in every role he takes, whether it's as a Jedi Master, a Marvel hero, or a ruthless gangster, you can see the echoes of that young boy from Chattanooga who learned to fight for his dreams against all odds. Samuel L. Jackson's story is proof that it's not where you start, but how you finish. From the struggles of his youth to the triumphs of Hollywood, he's shown us that perseverance and passion can lead to greatness. If you've been inspired by this story, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Celebrezzy. Click our profile on the right side, then check out the video on the left side about the rise of Chadwick Boseman and how he became a legendary actor. Thank you for watching, and remember, no matter how tough the journey, keep moving forward.